Story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there and welcome to CoreTV News on the Hour with me, Sabena Izuku. President Goodluck Jonathan has traveled to New York to attend the 69th session of the United Nations General Assembly. Presidential spokesperson Ruben Abati disclosed this in a statement saying that President Goodluck Jonathan will return to the country on Thursday after a brief and private stopover in London. While in New York, President Goodluck Jonathan will attend receptions hosted by President Barack Obama and the Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon. The President will also address the United Nations Security Council high-level session on threats to international peace and security caused by terrorist acts. Jonathan is also scheduled to hold bilateral talks with Ban Ki-moon and the British Prime Minister David Cameron. The Taraba State House of Assembly has set up a medical panel to verify the health condition of its ailing governor, Dambamba Sutai, who has been out of the country for treatment abroad. He returned from the United Kingdom after weeks of further treatment of the injuries he sustained when his plane crashed near Yola, Adamawa State on August 25, 2012. There were rumors that Sutai was rushed back to the country because of the People's Democratic Party governorship primaries, after which he would return abroad for medical attention. The governor, however, said he was not contesting the primary or any election at the moment. There were also reports that President Goodluck Jonathan paid a brief visit to Sutai at the guest house of Theophilus Danjuma in Abuja and later left for Aso Rock, accompanied by Danjuma. A statement by the Speaker of the Taraba State House of Assembly, Josiah Sabu Kente, obtained by journalists on Saturday in Abuja, named Bala Shehu as chairman. Other members are Inusa Samaria, Peter Alabi, Shehu Sule, and personal physician to Sutai, Ahmed Kara. The immediate past president of Nigerian Medical Association, Osaho, Enabulile, has been agitating that the association should be allowed to offer free medical investigation into the true state of the health of Sutai, who was injured in the plane crash. Coming from a recent wholesale endorsement of President Goodluck Jonathan, the People's Democratic Party says it is ready to take over the southwest states and other states across Nigeria in the forthcoming 2015 general election. The party staged a Southwest Sensitization Unity rally at the popular Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos. Sheyi Adegoke was there, and her report is presented from our studio. A mammoth crowd gathered for the rally, which had in attendance the bigwigs of the People's Democratic Party, including President Goodluck Jonathan, whose presence in Lagos heightened security presence in and around the state. Vice President of Nigeria, Namadi Sambo, did mince words on the achievements of the present administration, which he described as a good sign for the country.
There is no doubt that from what I have seen today, is a confirmation of the deep appreciation of the successes in Mr. President's achievement of the transformation agenda. Mr. President, I will seize this singular opportunity to also thank you for what you are giving to the people of the Southwest. We thank you very much.
Chairman of the People's Democratic Party Governors Forum, Godswill Akpabio, who had recently led his colleagues in the party to champion and endorse the second-term project of Jonathan, says the party is ready to bring more governors outside its fold to work for the People's Democratic Party's success at the 2015 general elections.
To pay solidarity to our great faithfuls, to the supporters who have remained dedicated, who have remained committed, despite the fact that some of the states here do not have PDP governors. Our brother Ayo Fayose, who has just spoken to us here, we are saying that we will use him as a nucleus to bring more PDP governors to the southwest.
For his part, National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Adamu Muazu, declares that the party is battle-ready for 2015 general elections and nothing short of victory will be the reward for Jonathan's administration for what he claimed the president has achieved for the country.
I want to assure you that Southwest has been PDP, but under very serious judicial process, we lost 3 states, and I want to assure you that we have started recapturing our states, starting with the Ekiti state. By the grace of the Almighty God, I assure you, in the next election of 2015, we will not only recapture our own states that have been taken over by the opposition, but indeed, as I always tell my friend, Governor Fashola, we are coming.
The man of the moment, in whose primary interest the rally was initiated, President Goodluck Jonathan, and who is still bathing in the euphoria of his recent endorsement by the PDP Board of Trustees, Governors and its National Executive Council, says his administration is on course and will surmount all challenges, no matter how heavy.
The idea of the rally is to bring the family together, for us to reason together, for us to see our faces, for us to dance and clap and sing, so that we know that we belong to one family, one PDP family, the largest political party in the continent of Africa. We promise that we'll transform Nigeria. We promise that we'll make changes. We promise that we'll never go back. And for us to do that, we need all Nigerians to work with us.
The promise to win notwithstanding, political observers say the PDP should wait for the ultimate deciders to speak through the choice at the 2015 general elections. A source involved in the negotiation has told CNN that Nigerian government officials and the International Committee of the Red Cross have had talks with Boko Haram about swapping prisoners of the dreaded terror group for more than 200 Chibok schoolgirls kidnapped in April. The officials met 4 times in mid-August with 2 senior members of the Boko Haram in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. The swap would involve the release of 30 Boko Haram commanders and the custody of Nigerian government, according to the source, who asked not to be named due to the sensitivity of the issue. Boko Haram submitted a list with names of 30 members who were either convicted or awaiting trial on terror offenses. According to the source, the 2 Boko Haram negotiators assured the ICRC and the government negotiators that the girls were never raped and were never used as sex slaves and were never sexually assaulted. The terror group abducted an estimated 276 girls in April from a boarding school in Chibok, Borno State. Dozens escaped, but more than 200 are still missing. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has approved 7 new private security outfits. Commander General of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ade Abolori, presented licenses to the new operators but threatened to sanction any of them found involved in unwholesome practices. He also encouraged the new outfits to help stamp out kidnapping, pipeline vandalism, and other forms of crime from the society.
So now that we are now in this position, let's cooperate maximally and be able to save Nigeria, to reduce drastically crimes and all these vices of insecurity. I believe by looking at you that you have served diligently and that you can still do your best to ensure that Nigeria of our dream, that will be at peace, can still be attained. We reduce to its barest minimum criminality in all these sectors of the economy. And whether the prison have more inmates or not. It's not our concern. Our concern is to ensure that we rid off criminality and to ensure that we have, sustainable growth of our economy and that we drive away vandals.
The recent claim by Amnesty International that Nigeria's human rights record is fraught with torture through the activities of the nation's police has received the backing of a public and political affairs analyst, the analyst Dipo Olayokun and Ebola Martins, who featured on a flagship program called Digest, derided Nigerian police for lying over what he evidently seen in their cells across the country. Olayokun particularly advised the police to build on criticism rather than finding a way to put up unnecessary defense, while Martins attributed the problem to what he described as the failure of the Goodluck Jonathan's administration.
One of the reasons why this country is in this position is because we delude ourselves so much with self-denial. Things that we are saying, they will tell us, no, it's not like that. That's what fella call the government magic. They turn green into blue. We are journalists. We are Nigerians. We visit police stations. I don't know if you can just take it upon yourself. As you are leaving this place, go to a journalist police station. Ask to see the people in detention. My dear brother, you will marvel at the state of these people in police detention. Yoruba people say once you know a mad person know he's sick, he is half cured. It's like the police don't know that there's a problem, and that is the problem that we have with this issue. For Ojukwu to have come out to say Amnesty is lying, but we always witness this thing in and around Nigeria.
Our problems has to be do with bad leadership, because when the head is corrupt, it comes down. And this is one of the reasons why I have been advocating that all Nigerians should immediately, without delay, vote out PDP. The reason is very simple. Today, Ghana has become a country that all over the world they are highly respected. They are respected not because they are called Ghanaians or they are called Ghana as a country. They are highly respected because all over the world they are now aware that if any party federally is not doing well, the people vote them out. So for the past few years, you can count how they have been changing the parties. The president that wins this time may not even be the president that wins next time. So everybody now is aware, if you are the president, you and your cabinet, you are aware that if you could not do well, you're going to be voted out. So now they know that in Nigeria, is the party called PDP is aware that either we do it right or we do it wrong, we are still going to be there, so it doesn't matter. We also owe allegiance to the people. We only owe allegiance to some very few people, and that's it. And that is one of the reasons why we are where we are.
Abuja residents are continuing to cry out over the scarcity of fuel. Find out more after the break.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes and bleeding from the eyes, ears and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it, don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Back to the news. Residents of Abuja have appealed to the Department of Petroleum Resources to monitor the distribution of fuel in the metropolis following the return of long queues that has been observed at filling stations across the Federal Capital Territory. Now, the residents complain of being on the queue for more hours and ending with no hope of accessing the product. The long queue, which is directly linked to the strike of all workers over the management of their pensions, was resolved after all workers under the aegis of the Petroleum and National Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria and National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers met with the Petroleum Minister Desiani Alise Madueke on Friday. The residents, however, linked the unavailability of the product to hoarding and have asked the DPR, Department of Petroleum Resources, to investigate the cause of the scarcity. Now, as in Zimbabwean opposition politician is among at least 80 people who have died in the synagogue church building collapse in Lagos a week ago. Greenwich in Danga was the movement for democratic change for provincial chairman for Mashonaland West. Most of the victims were South Africans who were staying in the multi-story guest house belonging to the Synagogue Church of All Nations, presided over by popular TV evangelist T.B. Joshua. More than 130 people survived, including one South African woman who was pulled out from the rubble on Monday, 3 days after the building collapsed. Idanga's death has been confirmed by his family and party officials. The Movement for Democratic Change spokesman Douglas Ewanzura says he was a pastor and was in Nigeria on church business. The second phase of the Rural Access and Mobility Project has been flagged off in Osun State by Governor Rafael Gbeshola. The project, which is sponsored by the World Bank, French Development Agency, the federal and Osun State governments, is driven at opening the rural areas to economic activities. Rashid was at the flag-off ceremony in Iraikeji in Oriade local government area of the state. His report.
Statistics from the Osun State Ministry of Works revealed that 75% of road network are in the rural areas. This has made rural development a priority for the Aregbesola administration. Launching the second phase of the Rural Access and Mobility Project in Iraikbetu, Special Advisor to the Governor, Kunle submits that the government is committed to rural development.
The sustenance of access into rural areas is one of the key objectives of RAP. This is based on the attainment of all weather and all year-round pliable roads and mobility system. Let me say that your coming to this program is not by accident, but it is due to your importance in the scheme of RAMP.
The country director of RAMP, Ubandoma Ularam, and the representative of World Bank, Muhammad Esakali, commends the strive of the state government in making rural areas economic hub, particularly in its stellar performance in the first tranche of TRAMP, which gave Osun the opportunity to be considered first in the second phase.
To the communities, these are your roads. Osun State is like a body, and the roads are like the blood vessels. So take care of these roads the way you take care of yourself, of your families, of your kids, and of your relatives.
It is our conviction that rural roads hold the key to the transformation of the rural communities. As such, strategic efforts must be geared towards ensuring that most states of the Federation understand this and embrace the RAMP approach to addressing challenges of poor rural transport infrastructure in the country.
The flag of the construction is
Aregbesola laments neglect of rural areas over the years, but averred that proactive steps of his government's support of projects like RAMP will make Osun people smile again.
With the development of agriculture, the festering canker of hunger, unemployment, poverty, poor education can be dealt with. However, indispensable to this agricultural revolution program is according necessary development attention that had long been denied to our rural areas.
The second phase of the Rural Access Project covers 225 kilometers of roads spread across 4 zones in the state. This will also provide initial employment for rural dwellers through ramp construct and road maintenance gangs. Rashid, CoreTV News, Iraikbetu, Oriade Local Government Area, Osun State.
After the break, find out how the G20 financial leaders will commit themselves to chasing higher global growth.
Glad to have you join us another edition of The Political Arena, the most detailed and incisive political show.
If you are a sitting governor and the opposition is able to stomach structure against you, that means you are wicked to the people.
Give me 20 minutes to move or they will shoot me.
He has no chance for survival. If he likes himself, this is the best time to get out before he perishes.
The PDP as a ruling party has failed.
To anybody who thinks that government will fold his hands and allow miscreants to take over the streets of our own state and cause havoc is deceiving himself.
The good, bad, ugly and beautiful sides of the Nigerian political system. Join me every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. on CoreTV News.
Welcome back to the news. Financial leaders of the group of 20 top economies remain committed to chasing higher global growth, but were divided on how to achieve it as Germany pushed back at calls from the United States and others for more immediate stimulus. Opening a meeting of G20 finance ministers and central bankers, Australian Treasurer Joe Hockey outlined on Saturday an ambitious agenda of boosting world growth, fireproofing the global banking system and closing tax loopholes for giant multinationals. The goals seem ever more distant as members from China to Japan, Germany and Russia have all stumbled in recent months. Just this week, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development slashed its growth. U.S. Treasury Secretary Jack Lew called for the Eurozone and Japan to do more to boost demand and revive activity, singling out Germany as having scooped to do much more. And over to Syria. Officials say some 66,000, mainly Kurds, have crossed into Turkey as state militants advance in northern Syria. Turkey opened its border to Syrians who had fled the Kurdish town of Kobane in fear of militants' attack. Activists say some 300 Kurdish fighters have crossed into Syria from Turkey to help defend the strategic town. ISIS militants control large areas of Syria and Iraq and have seized dozens of villages around Kobane, also called Ain al-Arab. Turkey, which shares a border with Iraq and Syria, have taken in more than 847,000 refugees since the uprising against Syrian President Bashar al-Assad began 3 years ago. Turkey's Deputy Prime Minister Numan Kurtulmus confirmed that 45,000 refugees had crossed the border within a 24-hour period. And that's it on the news on the hour. Please do join us at the top of the hour for more. I am Sabena Izoku, and thank you very much indeed for watching.